Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday podcast. Today is Wednesday, February the 2nd, 2022. So I'm so glad that you joined us. I have a wonderful guest that I'll be introducing momentarily. But in the meanwhile, be sure to grab your coffee, or if you like tea, maybe get your orange juice, your water, and just join the conversation because this is one you don't want to miss today. I am so honored to have a dear friend as well as one of the amazing authors of the upcoming anthology, Unlock Your Hidden Treasure. It's time to shine. None other than Josephine Roach. Welcome, Josephine. How are you this morning?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Awesome. Now that you're here with us, let me tell the audience a little bit more about this phenomenal woman. Josephine Roach is an advocate and leader in the breast cancer community. She serves as chairman to the Detroit Komen Leadership Council and is a member of the Komen Detroit Race for the Cure Planning Committee. Josephine serves as a board member of the Destined to Win to Overcome Ministries and is the founder of the Facebook breast cancer support group Where Hope Begins. Breast cancer advocacy is her passion, focusing on education and awareness. Josephine has received numerous awards for her service in the breast cancer community. Josephine received her Bachelor of Arts in Communication Disorders and Sciences from Wayne State University in Detroit and her Master's of Science in Physician Assistant Studies from the University of Detroit Mercy. She resides in Southwest Michigan and is currently writing a book. I'm so excited about her personal breast cancer journey to be published in late 2022. So stay tuned for that. Josephine can be reached on all the social media as well as Josephine Roach at Comcast.net. So now that we know a little more about Josephine, wow, with all of that, can I just say, how do you do all that you do?
Well, thank you for that introduction, Dr. Mary. How do I do all that I do? Well, I get up early, as I think you probably know, and I start my day, and it is a passion to be an advocate for breast cancer, and that's my work. And I love it. I love connecting with other survivors and those in treatment. And I think when you have a passion and a purpose, your day, there's nothing better.
I believe it. I believe it. So let me ask you this. What is the name of your chapter, and how do you think that your chapter in the book can help others?
So the name of my chapter in your anthology is entitled Where Hope Begins. I do capitalize the word hope. And the reason I chose that, number one, as you mentioned in my bio, I do have a support group named Where Hope Begins. And I named it that because hope was a word that was woven throughout my whole cancer journey into survivorship. At the first inkling that I knew that I could possibly have breast cancer, that is when the word hope entered my mind. And in the chapter, I write driving to the breast surgeon because they had saw something, and I needed to be informed on how to do. And they were going to do a breast biopsy. So right at that moment, I knew, this must be where hope begins. And again, the hope, I and then obviously it did show positive, and I'm a 4-year breast cancer survivor. But during the treatment and through it all, I maintained hope. And sometimes there was nothing that I had to cling on to. The only thing I had was hope. And hope being, I hope I get through my treatment today. I hope all this works. I hope those that came before me and those that will come after me, are cured. I hope they can conquer this. And most importantly, I really do hope there is a cure.
Wow, that's powerful. Because without hope, you know, you need that hope to just get to that next treatment or get to that next stage in your life. So I love the title. I just love the title. But how do you feel your chapter will help others as well?
Well, I think that it will be able to help women and men, because men get breast cancer too. I hope that by sharing my story, maybe that woman or man, hasn't gone to get checked. Women should get yearly breast exams. And I hope by them reading my chapter, they'll realize that early detection through mammogram is what saved my life. So I hope that they will read that and get that message. And also, I hope that when they read it, if they're a survivor or they're currently in treatment, especially currently in treatment, that they understand early on in the journey, it's hard, you're scared, but you know what? It's all doable. It's all
Yeah.
doable. And, if they can take that away and maybe it'll lessen their fears, I think that's very important. And then also, finally, you know what? Cancer is not the end. I know it is. It shakes you when you first hear those words that you have breast cancer. But I tell you, it can unlock your hidden treasure and allow you to shine, just like
Yeah.
the title of your anthology, Dr. Mary. And it did it for me. And I think it can do it for others.
And I see you shining even so brightly, even more so, which is good, allowing other people, you can shine. It's not a death sentence. You can continue on with your life. I see one of the audience said getting a mammogram is so important. So they're resounding with what you're saying is so true. And it
Yes.
is. We need to see that. Let me ask you this as well. How is it that a person can shine even though they've been given that treatment or that diagnosis of having breast cancer? How can you continue to shine? And
Well,
then
I think that, yeah, to continue to shine, it's difficult. And I'm not here to say it's all great, that it's all easy, because it isn't. It isn't at all. In fact, it's very difficult. But, if you can take something like this and really tackle it head on, I made it a priority. I made my health a priority while I was going through treatment. I knew how important it was that I had to withstand the chemo, withstand the antibody treatments, withstand the radiation. But I always kept a positive attitude, and I just and I always really knowledge is power. So I always read up on things, and it made things easier. And I say this, and I mentioned this before, that before having breast cancer, I really didn't know what I meant to people. And yeah, I knew my husband loved me, my family loved me, but boy, the outpouring, and it really just made me feel just really good that, wow, I know what I meant to people. And that's a silver lining to my story. I'm sure there's silver linings to other people's stories. And that would, when I realized that, it did make me realize, it allowed me to shine. And then of course, after into survivorship, I've always been an advocate, even prior to getting breast cancer. And, I just feel that, again, because it's the purpose that I have in my life, allows
wow.
me to shine.
Yes. I just have to share what the audience is saying. It said, Josephine, you are an amazing survivor. Thank you for sharing your story. You are so blessed. And I must echo those words because you are a shining star saying life is wonderful if you allow it to be. And so continue to shine on like that, because breast cancer, you hear that and you just get frozen, the thought of that, So I appreciate how you just stepping out of your comfort zone, sharing your story, writing your journal, and participating in this phenomenal. I know it's going to be a #1 bestseller about how you unlocked your hidden treasure and you're allowing yourself it's time to shine. So tell us a little bit more about your journey, if you don't mind. I don't tell us too much. We can't wait to get the book, which is going to be released the latter part of this month. But what would you say to people who've really gotten that diagnosed? What would be some of the few steps you would recommend for them to have hope in?
Yes, I would definitely tell them. And Dr. Mary, I have to say, the last week, I have received 3 messages from women who are newly diagnosed with breast cancer just in this past week. And a lot of people, ask if I can talk to a friend that's newly diagnosed or a family member. And, I let them know, again, that it is all doable. It is doable. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it is doable. And then, if you just follow, and that's what I did. I didn't look at the whole picture because that was overwhelming. All the treatment, very overwhelming. So I would just look at it in pieces. So the first thing was, I had a lumpectomy. So I researched lumpectomies and understood what was coming my way and listened to the doctor. And, she said, after you're done, you really need to keep up with these exercises because you don't want tissue to build up, a scar tissue to build up. And, then I went on to the next, which would be chemotherapy. And I knew the drugs, and the doctor had given me handouts about the drugs I was going to receive. And I researched it and I read it, and, I was trying to be the star patient. I was on the other side. As you said in my bio, I was a physician assistant, and being on the other side, now being a patient, was a different place and not a great place to be. But, I always wanted to know what was, ahead of me. And so I think if you're always have a little bit of knowledge of what's in store for you during this journey, I think it's helpful. But most importantly, Dr. Mary, support. You really do need support from your family, your friends, your spouse, your coworkers. That it is vital. It is vital to know that those people are in your corner, rooting for you, praying for you, and they're there for you. It makes a difference. It really does.
When you mentioned support, Josephine, I thought about this summer of 2021. We did the walkathon. What a phenomenal event. I will be doing that every year. And it was just the support and the love, and to see how, life is wonderful, and to see the women and the men and all the TV stations. So I know you're part of that, and let people know when that's available again, so we can participate in that.
Absolutely. Yes. I've been involved with Komen Detroit Race for the Cure for the past, now it's 9 years. I serve as chairperson to the Komen Leadership Council, and on the planning committee, we try to plan one of the best days in the city of Detroit. And this year, it's going to be the first weekend again of October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're happy to keep it there. We're happy to keep it in the Detroit, right in downtown Detroit, the same site, which was beautiful along the river walk. It was a great venue. And just like you said, it really does give you hope. Love. There's a energy down there that is like no other. And I have to say, prior to getting breast cancer, I was involved with the organization, and I believe you did see the opening ceremonies where they had the survivors, the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year. It went on up to 20, and those living with cancer, living with metastatic disease. And, when I saw that, and after I was diagnosed, I remembered, you know what? wow, those people all survived. They all
Yes.
survived. And I
Yes.
really looked at it like, I'm going to survive. I'm going to make this because of that, because of seeing all of that. And that
Yeah.
race is what it does. All the pink women who are, I'm sorry, all the pink women, all the women wearing the pink shirts, which denotes
Right.
survivors, it really just overcomes you. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Josephine, we have a question from one of the audience. It said, Josephine, does breast cancer have anything to do with diet, exercise, or heredity?
That's a great question. Thank you for
That
that
is.
question.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't know exactly
Mhm.
what causes breast cancer, and only 10% of 5 to 10% of breast cancers are hereditary, meaning that you got it from a first degree relative, meaning your mother or a sibling.
Mhm.
Only 10%. That's low. That's very
Very
low.
low.
So that's we have a misconception about
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
And the other percentage, which is much higher,
Mhm.
means that it can happen to anyone. And I
Mhm.
always say this in my talks, the two greatest risk factors of getting breast cancer are being a woman and getting older. That is all. That
Yes.
is all it takes. I did
Wow.
have my mother had a half sister that
Mhm.
had breast cancer, but
Right.
that's sort of far removed from half sister, far removed from me.
Mhm.
It could have that, but I didn't get the genetic testing, so I don't know if I carry the BRCA1, BRCA2 gene. I don't know
Yeah.
that. And then the
Mhm.
second part, diet, exercise, it's shown, studies show that, 150 minutes of cardiovascular will help your health. So it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. And eating a well
Mhm.
balanced diet, that's not going to hurt
Yes.
either. So
Right.
you can do things that can help, and not only help with cancer, help with all different diseases out there.
Yeah.
And it's important. I do look at my diet
Mhm.
differently now, and I did change it more to a plant-based diet.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
and yeah, I did do that, and I exercise more now. So
Yeah.
I think those all help.
It does. In the environment we live in, we can't always know, but what we can know is what we do to ourselves to help us to be the most healthiest and the best human being we can be. So it's responsibility is on us again, right?
That's right.
So let me ask you this about the book. What even motivated you to even join in the anthology? Unlock your hidden treasure. It's time to shine. Other than my persuasion, though.
Well, back in let's see, 2021, I believe it was February, you had offered a course, Dr. Mary, on
Yeah.
book writing. I had
Yes.
always wanted to write a book on my journey. And I thought, what better way to take my friend Dr. Mary's course and start this journey of being an author? So I went ahead and I took your course and I started writing. And then later that year, you decided you're going to have another anthology come out, and you put it out there. And, I thought about it, and I was talking to a good friend, actually. I don't know if Jay's out there listening, but executive director of Komen, Jay Sculio. And I said, I don't know. What do you think about this, Jay? And she says, I think this is a great opportunity. I think you should, grab it. And I called you, Dr. Mary, and I said, hey, do you have any more openings? Do you have some authors that you still need? And you said yes. And I joined because I knew I had a story to tell. I knew I had a story to tell.
Mhm.
And I try to be positive and uplifting about something that is very scary. And
Yeah.
that's why I decided to join. And I'm so happy I did. The women are incredible that are in this anthology, and they each have their special stories to tell.
Yes. And I'm just honored that you said yes because what you went through is not just for you. I always tell the authors, It's your story, but it's not for you. It's for someone there in Augusta, Georgia, somewhere over in Sydney, Australia, because what we've gone through is not just for us. It's the experience, yes, but to share your story and to speak your truth will help other people's lives. I do believe that so wholeheartedly. So I could just see that when they read your story, they goes, "Oh my God, that was me." That's where I'm at. And then to see that they can shine just like you're shining. So again, I thank you for leaving a legacy. We're leaving a legacy for that next generation and for other people to know life is what you make it. And you can unlock those hidden treasures and shine so bright like you have, Josephine. Continue to shine. I love that about you. I must mention, and I didn't have this on. Your husband is such a supporter. I know you said you have other supporters. Can you just share how important it is to have that family and that unending and unwavering and that endless love and support that you have with not only your family but your extended family, but particularly your husband? I just love him too.
Yeah, it was very difficult at the beginning to even tell people that I had breast cancer. Here I was involved with a breast cancer organization, and then imagine me then being diagnosed with breast cancer. And I thought, well,
Can you hear me,
husband.
Josephine?
Yes, can you hear
Yeah.
me? Can you hear me?
Hmm. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Co-survivors.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Co-survivors is what gets you through this. The co-survivors are those people that are your husband, your friend. They walk alongside of you, family members, siblings. They walk alongside you during your journey and help you. Now, of course, my husband was here on a daily basis, watching as I went through my journey. And it's not easy watching a spouse going through this. I was 50 years old. I think that's pretty young to be diagnosed with
Yes.
cancer. And, it challenged our relationship, to be honest with you. And, here I'm looking at my mortality, which I would have never thought of at age 50. But, he was very supportive when it was time to, go to my treatments. I needed a driver, and it was so important that I really needed him to be that driver. I didn't want anyone else to see me in the, vulnerable position that I was going to be in. I, lost my hair, and that was a great support. And just being around the house and being able to, have somebody do some of the, housework and cooking and things like that. My sister cooked once a week for me and made us a great meal that would last 2 days. And my girlfriends would, oh my gosh, my good friend Carla would come over, and we'd sit and watch movies and just laugh. And, it just meant, because it was normal things. That's the other thing. You're
Yes.
so entrenched in it, but just the normal day to day, you just want to talk and say, "Hey, what's going on? What'd you buy today?" You went, but just
Yeah.
normal talk. Just
Wow.
sometimes that's what you need. You just want to be normal, because
Right.
you don't want it to always be in your head like that. And it was.
Mhm.
Support was very important to me,
Mhm.
and I just think it's important to not hold it in. Don't hold
Yeah.
it into yourself. I
Right.
really encourage people to tell your loved ones, what you're going through, because you know what? They do want to know, and
Yes.
they want to help. And if they don't, and they'll say, "What do you need?" And you can tell them
Mhm.
what you need.
Mm. As you were sharing that, and thank you so much, Josephine, for opening up like that. I see a movie. I just see a movie there. So I know, because I
Mhm.
think people shy away from cancer. They don't want to talk about it. We don't talk about it. It'll go away. No, no. And
Right.
so we have to just be open with it. Like I said, have the hope. And that's where it begins. And I want to read this one. In fact, I'll put it up here. It's a long one, but she said, "Josephine, I'm looking forward to reading your story. I appreciate you candid and informing us. You are so blessed. Thank you for being a contributing authorpreneur. Continue to shine, beautiful queen. May our great Almighty God continue to bless your blessings you. So it sounds like that might be one of the other authors too, but I totally agree with that because you are letting your light shine. And when we do that, isn't it like it's giving other people permission to shine as well? And I think about we both like lighthouses, and we said how the lighthouse do not ask permission to shine its light; it just shines. And so we got to continue to remember you are your own lighthouse. You are that brilliant light God made just for you. And then when you do that, the world will be better off because you're shining so bright, shining bright like a diamond, and others know that they can glean from your light and to learn from what you've gone through. So
Thank you.
I'm just so excited. I tell you, I can't even hardly say anything because I'm just so excited. And here's another one. Thank you, Josephine, for just being who you are and shining. In closing remarks, do you have any remarks that you want to share with the audience, Josephine? And then you know, and then we can just let people know the book is coming out the end of this month. We'll have a virtual book launch as well as a live one in March. More details to come. But again, I enjoy your story, Josephine. So you know what you're doing is supposed to be how it's supposed to be.
Well,
So you have
thank
any
you.
mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dr. Mary, and thank you for those beautiful comments. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I would like to say that again, I have to plug. Get your yearly mammogram. Get your yearly mammogram. It could save your life. It saved mine. That is very important. Early detection means that catching it early means that you have a good chance of surviving. And I want to be hopeful. I want to be hopeful, but I know it's not always hopeful. I do know that. And there's metastatic breast cancer out there where people are living with the disease. It is spread to other organs and they live daily with the breast cancer. And I know that is difficult. It must be difficult for those people. So I just want to just reiterate the importance of your mammograms. I know this past year, or past several years here with the pandemic, I do know people that have put it off and don't put it off, because I had my yearly mammogram. There was nothing there in 2016. And then within a year's time, I don't know when, and within that year's time, cancer grew. And it was an aggressive type of breast cancer that would have killed me had I not gotten the treatment that I needed for that type of breast cancer. So that really is one of my strongest messages, but also that I know it's scary. I know it's very, very scary being diagnosed, but to know that you can get through this, you really can. And like I said, the chapter in the book is called Where Hope Begins. And I do run a cancer support group on Facebook named Where Hope Begins, where I try to uplift and bring awareness. And I welcome anybody to go on Facebook and I'll let you in, just answer a couple questions, and hopefully that can be helpful as well.
Powerful, powerful. I do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule just to share where hope begins and to talk about this new anthology book that's coming out. I am so excited. And our dear friend Deborah said, I have met her schedule for February the 7th this year. So thanks for sharing. And she's going to get that mammogram. We believe it's going to be a good report. Yes. In fact, I'm scheduled for mine when I come back from vacation. So it's an annual theme. Just like we have an annual birthday, have an annual mammogram birthday.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
Josephine, I appreciate you. You know, I love you, my sister. And again, thank you for shining. And stay tuned because we are going to hear more about the other authors in this phenomenal #1 bestseller, Unlock Your Hidden Treasure, just like Josephine did. It's time to shine. So continue to shine, my sister, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you
Bye
so
for
much.
now, and have a blessed and a great day today, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye bye.